All right, greetings everyone. Welcome to Racism in Plain Sight number 2, where we're just going to be observing various pieces of content and decoding the racism hidden before us in the clip. So the first clip is something I just stumbled across today. I thought it was very telling and a good start off to the show. So some of you may know this individual. I am not familiar with him because I did not. Oh, it's right here, Daytona Wilder. But anyway, let's get the clip here.
You know who this is?
All right.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
Man, your peoples too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
Explain it. Not everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem, I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I said by that. I ain't got to go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Go look up the history. Shit, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what. I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man. He's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day.
Wow. All right. I don't know. This clip is incredible because I'm sure that this white person who probably asked him the question, he definitely he's a white person who is aware that he is a member of the only race, which is the white race, and this white race has been waging a war against non-white people, especially Black people, for well over 400 years. I would say thousands of years. They've been waging this war of racism, white supremacy against non-white people. And Mr. Wilder here seems to be very much aware of that. And white people like to pretend to be ignorant, which is why he's asking him to explain himself and ask him what he's talking about. But Mr. Wilder knows how white people operate, or at least this particular individual, because white people will often pretend to be ignorant and be like, oh, what are you talking about? What do you mean racism? What do you mean you've been fighting for 400 years? What does that mean? Most white people definitely know what it means. And this is just a great clip. Is there anything else I have to share before I open the mic for others? Oh yeah, when I watch this clip, it gives me energy. I wish all Black people were this aware and had this fighting energy for the system of white supremacy. We'd get some problem solved for sure if this was like something we attempted to emulate. But folks have anything to share about our first clip?
Yeah, I wanted to chime in a bit on 526. I understand Mr. Bowler response, but I thought it was another example of how racism, white supremacy has really morphed Black people's emotions to the point where after a while, it seemed like he was putting on a performance. I didn't believe what he was saying anymore. It was more like, oh, he's kind of showboating and, you know, pumping his chest and being, I don't know, I don't want to say hyper masculine, but it's just he's putting on a show. It seems like I thought that was kind of interesting. I do understand that white people are very much aware of the race war that they created, that they're winning, and that they're making sure that they win. And I'm pretty sure that he's aware of the system of racism, white supremacy. But the way that he handled the reporter just shows me another the negative emotional state that Black people are collectively in, where we are unable to express ourselves when we are bothered or upset or turned off by something that a white person says or another victim of racism says. You know?
Wow, really, really well said, Mr. Sir. And I think you may be onto something. Any more comments about the first clip? Alrighty, continuing. Let me. I'm not playing these in any particular order. Go ahead, Mr. Sir.
Ms. Nebula wants to say something.
Yeah, so I just wanted to comment on the what Trey had just explained about CERT had just explained about the fact that we aren't Black people can find it hard to articulate themselves when presented with the way that those questions were done. And what I really liked about that observation is the fact that throughout the interview it cannot be heard, and when he was talking he was quite calm, but understanding his questions are aggressive and can stimulate this level of aggression in somebody who has a hard time articulating themselves, especially when they've been dealing with the same topic. Like, yes, it became a meme, and yes, it became this showboating method of to this day, like you all remember to this day if you've seen it before. But that rage and anger that we always like to commercialize or make comedy or memes out of is literally the root of the root of why white people do what they do, to get these absurd reactions out of us, in a sense. And then we are made skeptical of in this way, and then it's then taken on a showboating, but originally it came from trying to relate at a point that is constantly being met with, but it doesn't exist. So that's I think a perfect example of how we then lose our minds in the middle of trying to explain something to somebody who doesn't want it to be explained.
Really, really well said. Thank you, Miss Nebula. I'm gonna play the next clip.
I had a woman dying from
Okay, let me turn this up.
COVID confess something really heart-wrenching to me. She told me that when she was a teenager, she told her mother that one of the local Black boys had touched her behind the grocery store. And in 1936 Louisiana, this was a very big deal. Not only was this boy lynched, but he was beaten and his genitals were cut off. And then the family home was burned to the ground. And she watched it all happen. You want to know why? Because she saw that his sisters had prettier dresses than she did, and she just didn't like it. So she lied. And then it clicked. This same woman had been hallucinating for the past couple of days, saying that there was a Black boy in her room watching her, would not stop staring at her, and she was scared shitless. She asked if she could be forgiven. I told her the only person who could forgive her was the boy she killed. Not sorry.
Alrighty, so another great example of just racism, white supremacy, and its horrendous and the horrendous things it produces. So we have a suspected racist here telling a story about how one of her patients is a white supremacist who got a Black male killed years ago. And yeah, this is very common. I wonder how many white people confess to allowing Black people to be killed, or participating in Black people being killed, or participating in Black torture, or whatever. I'm sure this is very common, and this is just one of the few white people who actually share it with other people, well, non-white people in particular. Mm-hmm.
This is the second time I'm hearing it, and I didn't even realize she said that the reason why she did that to that Black male was because she was jealous of the Black females. It's very interesting how the Black male has to deal with this violence, and he wasn't even the reason that caused it. Not to say that the Black females were the cause either, but I didn't catch that the first time I listened to her. I think that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, and that's also how white supremacy 101, the most direct forms of violence is mostly reserved for the Black male. Of course, they have white racist men and racist women have definitely had their their time mutilating and brutalizing the Black female, but more times than not, the most aggressive forms of violence, as in terms of like castration and lynching, that was mostly reserved for the Black male. And it just shows how easy it must have been for white people, still is, I suspect, but especially back then, must have been really easy for a white person to get a Black person killed. Not only that, but a family home, so-called family home, burned to the ground, all over jealousy, all over envy. And if you understand the psychology behind the system of white supremacy, you understand that that envy that comes with having white skin, maybe, or having no melanin, maybe, that white people have developed this really incorrect relationship to Black skin, and you know they've computed that, hey, I can't have it, so I'm gonna destroy it and hate it. In regards to Black skin, it seems. So the next clip definitely is a good segue to what I'm talking about, of how they attempt to emulate us, or they make fun of the monsters they've created among us. But before I go to the next clip, folks want to share some thoughts on suspected racism, what we heard from her.
Yeah, I suspect that every white person has these similar stories that they've heard from family members, our friends, our associates, our acquaintances. This is the second time I've heard this story. And it's interesting how white people can now have a platform on TikTok and these social media platforms where they're able to gain followers and interest and status for talking about the racist terrorist attacks that their ancestors may or may not have participated in. And to me, there's nothing empowering or respectable about this white female, because they're telling us a verbatim story, and they're saying that the only person that can forgive them, which is I don't know what forgiveness really means. What does it mean to forgive someone, especially if the crime at hand ends with you being castrated, so having your genetic material like mutilated and removed from your being. It's very inhumane. And so to bring in forgiveness, which to me is a religious based way of speaking, is to me incorrect. Very confusing. She was, to me, acting. She was acting to be like an ally or some type of comrade for Black people, when I could clearly see that it was more for, let me try to get as many followers as I can. Let me tell this sad nigger story. You know?
Agreed. Agreed. I'd just like to chime in there while you're still connected. I totally agree. I feel like as she was explaining the story, she couldn't help but smile throughout. Like the parts that should be like the most cringe parts for somebody who would have like bare pain from that. That was almost sadistic. When she mentioned genitals, she smiled, and it was like, it's like she's saying how look she had the audacity to do these things, but done through the smirk and smile, it's the sadistic language of this is what she got away with versus, and yeah, I don't think there was any kind of care there, or even well, this is how I handled it towards the end. She only this guy can forgive her. That's saying nothing. It's just closing the statement of her story, and yeah, it's very easy to see through. And also, I want to make a comment about what Ashley had mentioned in terms of how the Black men get the fallout effects of the fact that the woman is jealous of how she sees the Black women present themselves in their dresses. And I feel like it's just another form of, to add a comment to that, I think it's a form of dismantling the family home, giving that family something else to worry about. It's like, I can't outdress them, but I can make them worried or basically disrupt their family function and break that thriving function. So they have to now revert, rather than caring about materialism, they have to go back to basics, work on survival. And I think that's how white people control us on the wider scale, just keep us on survival. So they don't get to the point where they're jealous of our outfits because we're too busy trying to afford rent, you know?
Oh yeah, long well established practice of keeping us in a really just yes, hyper survival state. Mr. Ray, did I see you about to chime in earlier?
Yes, I was just going to state how it appeared that the suspected racist enjoyed telling the story. Piggybacking off of what Miss said when she began to speak about the genitalia, she did have a sick, sadistic grin on her face. Not to mention, the suspected racist looks like the female version of Carrot Top, so that added a little more to it. But yes, she very much enjoyed telling the story.
Yeah, and folks may remember, but I will certainly do that. From the race code war, the redhead is the second tier. You know, the tiers of white women and the minds of the white supremacists is blonde, redhead, and then brunette. You know, so the redheads are really good at practicing white supremacy, just like any other white. So you know, this redhead hair may have fooled a lot of non-white people, but not over here. Not over here. Any more comments, Mr. Sir? Were you gonna chime in again?
No, I didn't even catch the smirk until Miss Nebula brought that up. But when she brought it up, I was able to recall sensing, why do I feel like she's enjoying this? And of course, having read the books we read in the Countering Racism book club, Countering Racism White Supremacy book club, I understand that Urugus, aka people who classify themselves as white, have a love affair with violence, torture, death, and sadistic behavior. It's I suspect that it allows their brain to release dopamine. Those acts, or hearing about those acts, and it kind of makes it very, very understandable for me. Well, not understandable, overstandable for me why there's a strong market for torture porn, and there's like a strong market for true crime videos and 911 call, YouTube stuff. It's just a lot of material that's rooted in people's suffering, and people's deaths is often commodified in some sort, especially if the person who is dead, dying, or about to die is a Black person or a non-white person.
Very, very accurate understanding of this system, Mr. Sir. Can someone post a link in the YouTube live chat for the folks who are asking for it in the chat, please, or send it to Mr. Amir, Mr. Fire Tablet, because I can't right now. All right, the next clip is gonna be this one. Shout out to Woke Video for just compiling all the tacky, terroristic visuals that we are studying today.
Good, thank you. Can I get that 11-piece nugget?
How many nuggets?
11.
I'm sorry, how many nuggets?
The 11-piece.
11?
Yeah.
We only got 4, 6, 10, 20, and 40.
Okay, well, can I get the 7-piece?
The 10 piece?
The 7. 7. The 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We don't have a 7 piece. It's 4, 6, 10, 20, and 40.
Oh, man, okay, fuck it. Let me just get the 10.
I'm sure we could go out in the last 2 seconds of this, but yeah, this is a not only is it an overt example of racism, white supremacy, and just a really vulgar racist act, but if you really study what we're seeing, we can see the hidden racism. We can see the hidden racism in plain sight as well, because this white woman must have been studying Black people. She must have spent a large number of time just going through various videos and studying Black people and their look and their vernacular in order for her to mock them in this way. And this is just an example of like refined racism. This is how this white supremacist has chosen to practice racism. Instead of going out and harming a person, a Black person directly, she's spreading indirect harm through this racist imagery that she's having fun with. Very, very tacky. She sounds like the average white woman who has a pattern of hanging around non-white people, highly victimized non-white people. Reminds me of, like, I think her name is Bad Barbie or something. Like that's how she sounds. It's really, really interesting how they are really good at emulating ghetto glorification that they have taught us to practice. Comments, questions?
I just really wouldn't be surprised if she was at work all day getting her so-called sister girl on, attempting to give Black females, quote unquote, relationship advice for their Black males.
Okay, this is just to be correct, this is a white female who is practicing being a Black caricature, right? Is what I'm saying?
Definitely caricature.
I believe that's correct.
All right, so it's fascinating. I think it's really I think this is a moment for everyone to understand that white people see how Black people maintain their appearances as a joke. Let's just break down what she's using to be quote unquote a ghetto Black female. In her mind, she's probably thinking the B word, but let's just say I see the long fingernails, kitty cat claws, and I see the absurdly long eyelashes. Now, as a person classified as Black, I am aware that this is how some non-white people maintain their appearance. So it says a lot that white people see it as a joke. They see it as something to mimic, and I was really taken back by how uneducated and dumb she was attempting to sound. She's a white person, so I'm gonna assume she's very intelligent. But it was just really sad. It was not sad, sorry. It was very expected and very skilled performer, because what they're doing is what their brain sees when they look at a Black person. They don't see real functioning people who are capable of being successful. They see monsters and monstrosity. They see their creations, their toys, their boys and their girls. They don't see men and women. They see boys and girls and playthings, especially the people who behave like this and tell on themselves by performing in this manner and being confident enough to record themselves and share it, because they know that most people are like this. They know that it's acceptable. You may say racism is frowned upon, but racism is very acceptable and very rewarded in the system we live in.
Excellent analysis, Mr. Serd. You're totally correct. It's a good example of how this white woman views the intelligence of Black people, which is very, very low. She understands that we have been severely retarded, so sometimes our speech can be as she's emulating. So it's just really incorrect, really tacky. It's just like, we are being, we're being abused by racist men, racist women, and then they laugh at the abuse that they're committing against us. And a great decoding of the just the cosmetic she has reminds me of Dr. Senku, Snuffleupagus, which is what the eyelashes mean to me now. It's just it's just really incorrect. Any other folks have any comments before?
Could you clarify the Snuffleupagus thing?
Yeah. I'll bring up a picture right now. Meanwhile, if folks have any other comments while I'll get this picture.
We should remember that one thing that the racists love to do to check your gauge of how you will allow them to practice. The first thing they do is try to give a caricature of Black females, if you're a Black male, to see if you're willing to engage in degrading Black females with them. I just started a new employment, and the first thing this white male says to me, oh man, yeah, I had to quit another job about a year ago. You ever seen the movie Diary of a Mad Black Female? Now, we haven't even exchanged names. And I said, no, not really. She was just like that. He was not looking for my answer. He was looking to try to practice emulating Black females. He started moving his head left to right and popping his hands like this white racist female and talking in nigger speak. And I was like, that's interesting. And because I didn't help him and I guess get excited to engage with this ideal about Black females, he immediately became alarmed and told the other whites, yeah, I think niggers with it. So since then, I've made sure that he doesn't get an opportunity to say much beyond hello, goodbye, or directly something about the work involved.
Thank you, Mr. Evolutionist for Justice. That's very correct. That is a wow. So sir, are you seeing Mr. Snuffleupagus?
Yeah, I actually wanted to comment on this. So to me, it's a non-human creature that's brown, so non-white, melanated, and the long eyelashes, definitely has become a staple amongst non-white women. And Ms. Nebula brought up a point that this is a woolly mammoth, basically, and they would love for us to be extinct. I think so. I'm pretty sure this is no coincidence that this creature exists and it looks like this, and subconsciously or consciously, they are very much associating this creature with I would assume primarily Black females. Lastly, it just came my mind out. I just came my mind actually, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that they would love for us to be extinct like the woolly mammoth.
Yeah, that's correct. The concept of a Black female who doesn't need or want cosmetics, it's slowly going extinct like the woolly mammoth as well. So very excellent decoding, I think. Any more comments before I go on to the next clip? Alrighty. No particular order. Let me just get the next one going. Oh, all right. This is kind of like a part two for me. I haven't seen this, y'all. But I have seen this victim of racism before, being mistreated and victimized in this manner. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play it, see what we can learn from it.
And I am not sorry for the things I did do.
Mr. O'Neill,
All right.
Listen, stop.
All right.
Listen to me.
I'm not
You're not going to raise your voice again.
I'm
You're
not going to raise my
your
voice again. I'm not.
I will have you removed from this courtroom. I can sentence you without you being present.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't conduct
I
yourself.
understand, Your Honor.
Thank you.
But I will say, I'm sorry for your loss.
19 years I've been at this job. I've seen human beings killed at the hands of others in every way imaginable. You name it, I've seen it. Shootings, stabbings, drownings, suffocatings, blown apart by cars in DUI manslaughter cases. Horrible things. This is the worst case I have ever seen as far as the facts go. Is it? And I'm going to mete out the punishment that I think this case deserves. All right. So with that, on count one, Mr. O'Neill, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life in prison with a minimum mandatory of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Count two, I will adjudicate you guilty.
Alrighty, so I don't know if we should watch all of this. I think we should move forward and just discuss what we have just seen from this. I'm just going to discuss what the judge says. You know, she said this is the worst case she's ever seen. I suspect she's lying. You know, yeah, his crimes, this black male's crimes, no matter what he did, is nowhere near the crimes of the system of white supremacy. Nowhere near the body count, nowhere near the suffering, you know, and that's not to take away from the suffering this black male was allowed to cause within the system. But the greatest crime ever in the known universe is the establishment, maintenance, and expansion of white supremacy. You know, that has killed so many people, more than we will ever know, you know. So, you know, this whole the whole ritual of the court system and imprisoning black males for their entire existence is no new reality. This is going to happen until we have a system of justice. It's just a tragic travesty that this black male was led and trained by the white supremacists to be the monster that he is. People who to blame for this male is, of course, white people. Yeah, I probably should vetted this clip more, but it's fine. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I followed a lot of court cases from beginning to end because I'm just addicted to the negativity that comes with it, I suppose, due to the system of racism, white supremacy. And I also suspect that Mr. Forgot his name, but the gentleman and the inmate here, I'm pretty sure he killed his family as a result of the psychological damage that racism, white supremacy places on its victims. The reality destroyer of racism, white supremacy, it really could take a black mind and turn it into basically nothing, you know, to the point where a person could go so off path, so they could act in a manner that's so incorrect that they kill the people that they're mating with or living with or are sharing a home together. That is very incorrect behavior, and that is a direct result of racism, white supremacy, I suspect. And throughout the court case, she would I feel like she's really enjoying all of it because if you look at the beginning of the case when he's representing himself, when he's wearing a suit and he's yelling, she had a really awesome time telling him to shut up, telling him to be quiet, telling him you can't do this, you can't do that. Whether if it was the law or not, I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer or a judge. I'm a victim of racism, white supremacy. But she really is. I suspect she's a racist. I certainly suspect she was lying about this being the worst thing she's seen. You know, if you've seen one person kill their kids, then what's worse than a person killing their kids? It's horrifying. There's no scale for what's worse. You know, just because the person was more victimized, they use very, very sadistic means, which they learned from people who classify themselves as white.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better, sir. Thank you. Any more comments before I play the next clip? All right.
Early one morning in 1999, Tom Coleman's efforts culminated in the arrest of 13% of Tulia's adult black population. They were rousted out of bed, paraded in front of local television cameras in handcuffs, many of them half-dressed, and charged with selling cocaine to Tom Coleman at various times over the course of his investigation. The town newspaper declared Tulia's streets cleared of garbage.
The defendants know when it boils down to it, when it right boils down to it, they handed me the dope and I handed them the money.
All right, just in 38 seconds, we can already discuss so much racism in plain sight in this clip. First of all, the imagery here, you know, black males, almost just shirtless black males looking kind of just really not in the best shape, being you know, presented in front of these cameras as you know, as just further mistreatment, because you know this film is forever as we're watching now. And we see this white person, this white man who was an undercover cop, and his job was to literally trick black people into selling him cocaine, so he will have the justification to locking them up. So it's like the example, racism in plain sight. White people will create the problem. You know, white people created the phenomenon of the drug dealer. The phenomenon of selling drugs was created by white people, racist men and racist women. They're the biggest drug pushers to ever exist in the known universe. But they have done a wonderful job at creating the reality that most people think black people, non-white people are drug dealers and whatnot. But no, racism in plain sight is the ability to, you know, produce the drugs, give the drugs to black people, and then lock black people up for it, and call yourself the hero when you actually are a terrorist on a global scale. So just 38 seconds, we're already to gather that much. And this one white man locked up was responsible for like 10% of this population being imprisoned, which is just an example of just white power. Just one white man, you know, white power from one white man. And I think I saw, Ray, did you have something you wanted to chime in?
Yes, sir. They had said that he locked up 13% of the population, and that's interesting because the white supremacists alleged that that's what black people in the Northwestern Hemisphere account for, 13%. And it was interesting when he was speaking, he had on the black hat with the black sunglasses. The imagery was everything.
Police officers have the right to lie. Well, this white guy, law enforcement. I forgot how they say the term, but yeah.
You said law enforcement, that's correct.
Yeah, law enforcement, that they have a right to lie. And as far as, be deceitful, and everything else. And also notice that they use the term garbage, that they got rid of the garbage of the area, something like that. The term garbage was used, or trash.
Code word, yep, code word.
Yeah, and yes, so that's another thing. Look at, like, when they use certain terms in close correlation when they're talking about non-white people, even if it's not like the next word, the next sentence, definitely, you know, they're trashing us. They're, you know, garbage, trash.
Yeah, like garbage cleared, you know, they have created a reality where, you think of a black person, not surprising if you're thinking of this black person as some piece of trash, something deserving to be removed. So really refined, just really refined. It's from 1998. So the racism has only got, as Kyrie and Hero puts it, super refined. So just 38 seconds, we're able to learn so much. Any more comments about this clip? All righty. A really short.
I mean, 526. I wanted to chime in on the last clip.
Go ahead.
All right. So definitely a slave catcher of some sort. But this reminded me of when I first came to the United Kingdom. I just moved in to my apartment, and I go out a lot by myself and just wander around, and only people classified as white would ask me this. People would come up to me and say, "Hey, do you know where I can find some weed? Do you know where I can find some weed?" And then what happened, no matter where I was at, no matter what I was dressed with, and I just associated it. Oh, they think I'm like some type of drug dealing, lock-headed, Doug nigger that they created, for themselves, for people who look like me to be classified as, labeled as. And unfortunately, some black males are labeled and shown that image 24/7 in Western media and white media, that they actually become those things. So you actually do have non-white victims of racism, white supremacy that literally will sell drugs to a person who is classified as white. And if they were aware of the system of racism, white supremacy, they would be aware that these people are, for the most part, not going to help you, or not trying to help you. And because I am aware of the system of racism, white supremacy, I'm always like really offended when these agents of white supremacy think they can trick me into going to jail for the rest of my life, for engaging in any activity. So I always give them a hard time when they ask me that question. I'll ask them a question. So do I look like a drug dealer? And what made you ask me this question? And these are some things that any person classified as black can respond to. If anyone asks you for drugs, you can ask them, do I look like a drug dealer? What made you ask me this question? And let them know that you're insulted and you feel mistreated by being targeted and stopped, to be asked to do something that's illegal, and I could put you in jail, and remove you from what you're supposed to be doing, constructive activities.
Really black solidly said, Mr. Sir. Reminds me of when you and I were going to I believe the school is called Gumpers. We used to go to Gumpers, a really highly niggerized school, and we would get asked, like, these undercovers would pull up and ask us, where the weed at, and they would try to entrap us basically. So yeah, this is a very common occurrence, and black people are often tricked, bamboozled, and led to greater confinement prison. And yeah, this is especially if you are a black person in the area of the world known as the United States. You have no business in greater confinement at all. We need to be doing our best to stay out of greater confinement. Thank you, Mr. Sarah, for those wonderful words. We're getting into area 8 now, a tiny bit, and I have a very tragic clip to show here featuring Mr. Bobby Shmurda. We do know this is a victim of racism, recently out of greater confinement. He spent quite a while in there due to being a victim of white supremacy and various gang activities or whatnot. But this is Bobby Shmurda performing. And
wait, real quick.
Yeah.
To add on to what is certain you just said, it's funny how they'll come to you, they'll come to CERT or any non-white person asks, hey, where the drugs at, but won't tell us like, okay, how to get a job or how to get some money or, you know, how to do anything constructive, but they're quick to ask about, oh, where the drugs at. I just wanted to add that.
Always, you know, it's their job to keep us doing non-constructive / destructive things, you know, and if they can participate in it with us, then they very much will. But when it comes to like teaching us something constructive or telling us what they talk about when we're not around, crickets. Very, very telling pattern.
All the way back in 1989 and 90 and 91, I would take their money. Right after handing it over, I would stand right in front of them and tell them to bounce. And it worked every time. Even when they were law enforcers, they'd rather leave and come back uniformed up than fight me for the money. So they don't try that tactic with me no more.
Yeah, that's also a compensatory response to that, you know, a little counter war, you know, pretend, you know, a little counter war if you're up for it. All right, now I'm gonna play this clip, y'all. We're getting a little, I don't know if this is area 8 actually, but I do know it's it would not be happening if he weren't in a system of white supremacy. I do know that much. So just 13 seconds, a really interesting number as well. So let's just give it a go.
Fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no 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 way, boy. Ain't no fuck.
Like, I don't know if it's just I don't know if Bobby's murder had just been like, you know, he's just been hypersexualized, or he's been led to do these various dance moves for, I don't know why he would be led.
Wait, that's Bobby Shmurda?
Yes, ma'am. Barbie's murder.
The hot boy?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Allegedly.
Oh my word! Wow.
I'm gonna give it another go. Another watch.
Fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no 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 way, boy.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I may be confused, thinking that this falls into, like, you know, countersexual behavior, countersexual programming, but it just doesn't seem correct. Just doesn't seem correct. Any it just doesn't seem correct. I know Barbara Shmurda is a victim of racism who probably is not surrounded by people who is attempting to teach them about racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, or teaching them how to be constructive, period. But really, really interesting. And I will also say suspect behavior.
Yeah. You know, I remember this video was circulating on Instagram. And I remember thinking, wow, was he paid to do this? Or is this the result of activities that may have happened in greater confinement? Because I'm seeing I'm just trying to be very logical and scientific. What I'm seeing is a black male, like, you know, do dance moves that I've seen strippers do, you know, like female strippers do in music videos and in real life. So very, very suspicious. I wonder if he was paid, or I wonder if this is just, you know, when non-white black people are unable to understand the system they're living in, they find themselves doing things like this, which is very, very, very bizarre.
Mr. Evolutionist, please.
The code tells us, do not be surprised when the behavior, especially the sexual preference or behavior of victims of racism, may suddenly change or be, you know, something that greatly disappoints you.
I'm hearing some distortion from your mic. It'd be
I
hard to.
apologize. I think the code says that we should not be greatly surprised at the sexual choices or whatever expression of victims of racism from time to time. That's how distorting white supremacy racism is. For 20 years, I tried to find an excuse or find some way to look past all of the black males I knew and know in the music industry. All the black males I've experienced, some I've worked for, worked directly with. They are all, if they are making money from white people directly that rule entertainment, that's the requirement. I don't care how much they're projected as the husband, father, from super nigger on down. The best actor that they give Emmys or whatever to, the ones that die and all that, they all have to submit to the ultimate coup de grace. They all have to, or they're not going to be in our face and they're not going to be on a screen and able to have their image affect potentially millions of victims. That's just what it is. So we should just give up this falsehood that some of them are not into the perversion and temporary insanity of attempted sex with the same gender. They're all compromised. Every single one. Every single one. I've tried to just be cool with some of them. I've tried to just work for them and just do business. They all end up, once they get comfortable, they all go, they're all into that. Every single one. And all the females know it. That's why they share girlfriends, because those females do things to those males in that perversion or allow them to. And that's why, remember, they came out with a show one time on MTV, Girls Who Like Boys Who Like Boys. And it lasted maybe not even a full season because it was too honest about that's the warping of the system of white supremacy.
Area 8, ladies and males, Area 8 prayer.
I just want to say I totally agree with 11 evolutionists for justice. I totally second that, and it's really unfortunate, but I suspect that is the truth. What really goes on behind, not to use the metaphor, but behind the scenes. You know?
All right, going deeper into the insanity, Area 8. Where was that one? Here it goes. Only 11 seconds, but someone, pop quiz. Someone needs to say something. What would Fuller say about this clip? Or what would Fuller say about this clip? It's 4 words. All right, I'm gonna let it rock.
If you don't want to be with me anymore, just say that. I don't want to be with you anymore. Yo, what are you doing? I'm waiting to say some shit like that. If you don't want to be with me.
All right. What rule possibly could have avoided this situation?
First time, last time.
Oh, excellent. Yes, first time, last time. I'm sure this is not the first time this I don't know if this may be a white Hispanic or this may be a victim of racism. I don't know, but they are highly confused, are practicing countersexuality. And it looks like she's I think it's a black female. We can't really tell with this angle.
No way. She has fake baby hairs. She is not. There is
No
nothing black in her
no.
ancestry.
I'm talking about the person she's harming, not her.
Oh, okay. Wait, but isn't that person like they put themselves in there? They're not actually in the seat.
That's not the person.
Somebody else.
Yeah. Like this is some sort of effect. The
Like
person
Photoshop thing, right?
the person being hit, we can't see, but I hear I hear a female voice, and I'm suspecting it's a black female, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
Yeah.
misunderstood.
Yeah, but in these tacky situations, it very much well could be a victim of racism, but we'll never know. It's just really tacky, and first time, last time, no matter the situation, if you are in any sort of arrangement and you are physically hit, you need to first time, last time, the arrangement, relationship, marriage, whatever you're calling it, needs to end. Because this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna have this energy all up in your face, and we don't need that. Like that's just destructive energy. And I wish there's more to the story. Well, there is. We just don't know it and won't know it. But first time, last time. Yeah, and if being countersexual is supposed to make one's like existence better, and it's supposed to be like a better route, why the hell are they still beating, harming each other and having domestic violence? I thought that was reserved for non countersexual arrangements. But interesting, tacky, terroristic, and trashy. To be expected. Mr. Evolutionist, would you like to chime in? I think you're muted.
Oh, okay. So we should all think of this is not a rare phenomenon. Many of us were raised to believe, and with the perversion of racism, white supremacy's use of the word love. When people abuse you, I remember getting physical beatings, and before the person sitting down and telling me they're doing this because they love me. I remember that. So that distortion in the minds of victims of racism, I'm sure it started with the white supremacists. I'm beating you because I'm beating the hell out of you, because the love of God needs to be in you when you obey me. So the perversion that Black males and females and white supremacists know, we're taught that physical violence means I love you. And I've seen Black females try to provoke me too, angry, hostile, and they thought it was cute if they could get me to be so, because that proved that, oh, he must care about me. And we do that in our so-called relations with the complementary sex in the name of that's what we do as love. As Black people, we trigger these emotions of I'll kill you, I love you so much. The code talked about it.
Yep.
Mr. Fuller talked about it. It's very clear.
Yeah, absolute insanity. There's no love, and if we did have a concept called love, it wouldn't involve any abuse or suffering or crying or roaches or fist blows or stabbings or pop from the 9mm or anything like that. It wouldn't be any of this stupid shit we call it in the system of white supremacy. But that's racist man and racist woman for you. They have convinced us to be absolutely insane. And I appreciate your words, Mr. Justice, because we're going deeper into the perversion with the next clip, deeper into the perversion that we have most certainly normalized. And
I was gonna say, it reminds me of when people call things a crime of passion. Like it kind of has a sexual meaning when really, like what evolutionist was saying, that it's really violence. It's not like love or passion. I think it's really interesting how they always talk about when partners murder each other. It's called a crime of passion.
Look at how much rape sex culture is promoted among Black people. I mean, I never in my teens seen or heard the things I heard in my 30s and 40s dealing with Black females. They wanted sex that, to me, that's rape. That's acts of violence. And of course, any Black females on the line, I'm sure you heard of disrespectful sex. I've been asked to do that by females, not by my mind. I want disrespectful sex. What do you mean? The most foul, degrading back and forth, of course, and I guess behavior is what they desired.
Exactly. So, any more comments on this clip or any other words said? All right. Furthering the perversion and incorrectness. This is a courtesy of Arami, the funky academic. And we're just playing this clip that he found. And I'm reminded before I play this of just the worship that Black people have of their victims. I used to have this fellow victim in high school, Black female, and she was in love, obsessed with Chris Brown. She would literally harm other people for making fun of Chris Brown. And it's just really tragic how we're just trained to worship these celebrities who are just victims of racism, and no one in the system is worthy of worship, let alone to be followed at all. But here we go. I'm just gonna play the clip. It was my bad. My bad.
With Bonnie
And Chloe.
Chris Brown gave another interview in which he told The Guardian that he actually lost his virginity at the age of 8.
What? That is crazy.
That is so young.
So crazy. And actually, HollywoodLife.com, we've spoken to a source close to Rihanna who says she's not surprised because he was basically a beast in bed and that they used to have crazy sex together. This is a little TMI for me, Bonnie. I don't really want to know that Chris Brown lost his virginity at 8.
Well, you do know, and you're talking about it, and Rihanna felt that it actually, because he got started so young, that's why he was so good.
I'm blushing right now. I don't know if you can see.
And apparently, once they had made up, when they got back together last year, our source tells us that Rihanna felt that the makeup sex was just wild. So now we know another reason why they got back together.
Yeah, well, and now they're not together anymore, so maybe she kind of got over the fact that his sex was so great. But also, though, we have spoken to a source close to Chris, Bonnie, who says exactly how he feels about losing his virginity at 8.
Well, he doesn't think it was any big deal. In fact, he thinks that it was a great thing because he got started early and he got lots of experience.
Well, you know what? You can't go back in time and change that. All right, guys, so tell us what you think. Do you think that it's TMI that Chris...
Alrighty.
There goes that term again, beast.
Yeah.
Been associated with non-white Black male.
Yeah, and I'm sure they had they felt extra good using it because they said Rihanna told them that, but
sex was wild.
They said a source close to Rihanna, which means Rihanna or nobody close to her said it. They just
exactly. Oh, okay. So yeah, so and it just they're talking so nonchalantly about child sexual abuse because isn't that what it is? Isn't a child having sexual abuse? Or am I confused? Is an 8-year-old having sex?
Why are white people talking about the sexual behavior of Black people, period?
Great question. But like they made it.
I would have shut the whole show down. Why are you talking about Black people having sex? 2 white women. That's really what you want to talk about? Why?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure, I'm just gonna answer my own questions. I'm pretty sure 8-year-old having sex is a form of rape, sexual abuse,
Well,
and
definitely incorrect. You're right. It's incorrect.
yeah, and so for them to be talking about it so nonchalantly just should be a glaring example that we are living in a sick system of white supremacy. For them to just be talking about this like it's not incorrect. Of children should not be in a bedroom with anybody, like period. So white people have set up a system where like they can make money off talking about child abuse. And look how they have glamorized it. Look how they have decorated child rape in such a really insane format that Chris Brown himself doesn't even realize that what was done to him or that what he experienced was really vile and sick. And I just I know what I'm pretty sure I know what being exposed to that sort of content really does to the mind. And it just goes to show perhaps why Chris Brown behaves as he does, Go ahead, Mr. Evolutionist.
I suspect he knew at the time and after until he was given a dialogue to convert it into, oh, it was a good thing. It's a part of my masculinity. Now that means I'm more valuable than other Black males. He can only be given that dialogue from our oppressors who control the dialogue about sex, how to interpret it correctly. Black males only decided to choose being sexual things, walking dicks, when we somehow acknowledge that you will never be a man, so you might as well be a walking dick. So I don't think Chris Brown came up with the idea himself that made him better at sex. Neither did I. So we were given that way to talk about it or to accept it because somebody told us this is a better way to interpret it. This is a better way to look at it. The white supremacists.
Wow. Thank you. All righty. I think we're jumping out of.
Another thing too is like, who are these white females and why have they not been canceled in this so-called Me Too era? Because, last time I checked, they're literally making fun of a child being raped, and I have seen Black people's careers being ruined for much less.
Miss Ash, that question reminds me of just the reality of Area 3 and how we have an individual by the name of Dan Harmon. But first, I'm going to talk about these white females. I suspect these white females are nobody, and they literally only have attention on them right now is because they talk about other victims of racism. I doubt these females anything other than gossip about other Black people and victims of racism. So that's why that's the thing. And we have Dan Harmon, the creator of Community, creator of Rick and Morty, a show watched around the globe, and he literally has made short films of him raping babies or pretending to rape babies, however you want to put it, because in the content he's doing it for real, but it's a movie, right? But yeah, so this is something that apparently white people, racist men, racist women have fun doing, pretending to rape babies, people are discussing child rape in the way that these two white females did, nonchalantly, like it's not incorrect, like it didn't even happen, So it's just the hypocrisy of what we're dealing with. It's just the psychopathic nature of white supremacy. They don't care about kids at all unless the kids can get them off, unfortunately. Yeah, so jumping out of area 8, I think we're going back into let's go to area, I think it's, oh, nope, stay in area 8. I probably should have showed this one a long time ago. But a little negrophilia coming up. This is a really vile one, y'all. A really vile review coming up, and I just hate that I feel so much animosity towards this particular one, but just this content is so despicable. But I'm gonna let it play.
This is my first baby daddy, Ace. He is a fucking ladies' man. He is fine as hell, bitches. I had to fight everybody over this man, but I was number 1, so it didn't matter. I truly believed if he wasn't murdered that we would have had all of our kids together, and we would probably still be together till this day, only because the simple fact is I'm a dumb bitch and he's in love with me. But whatever. I would give him a 7 out of 10. I don't really like that he was like always in the streets, but so I'll give him a 7 to 10. Love him to death still to this day. 0 out of 10 for dying. That was fucked up. Really fucked me up with that one. This motherfucker here. This is my second baby daddy, too tall. He's a piece of shit. I think he has a few other kids. I've tried to find family members of his or baby mamas or anything to kind of connect him to my son, to his family. Cannot find anything. No one's ever reached out to me. No one gives a fuck. He hasn't seen his son literally since he was like 2 or 3, 4 months old. He's only seen his son like 2 times. Didn't come to the delivery, even though I called his phone, asked him to come. Gave me $80 when I had the baby, and that's all the money I've ever gotten from him. He's been on child support for like 3 years and haven't seen a dime. So he's a loser. 0 out of fucking 10. Awful. Would not recommend. This is my third baby daddy, White Mike. Love the guy. Great guy. Cheater, but a great guy. Good stepdaddy. Takes care.
All right, I'm done. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm done. But
I want to watch one.
Oh, okay. Well, for the study, for the study, I don't know how many baby daddies are there.
His family pisses me the fuck off. Ready to fight him. I give him a 8 out of 10. He's all right. That thing. Good. He ain't got no other kids, no problems there. He's just a fucking weirdo. Anyways, what did I give him? 8 out of 10? 9 out of 10? Yeah, though. He be giving me that money. And he be paying that rent, so 10 out of 10 recommend. But y'all don't fucking look for him or hit him up or else.
Alrighty. Comments, concerns, questions?
Yeah. Very interesting. I really want to just mention the last thing I noticed was the closer, the further away from blackness they got, the higher the number in terms of skin color or shade. But it was very, very, very. It's like real life Get Out. She's collecting black males and gathering their genetic material and creating like this legion of like mixed race offspring. It's very scary, very weird, very terroristic, making fun of the guy who died, giving him a 0 out of 10 for dying. And I'm pretty sure he died as a result of being in a relationship with her. I don't know why. I don't have any proof. I just suspect that because she didn't really seem to care much about him dying. It was definitely a joke, and it gave him a 0 out of 10 for it. I can really go on and on and on about what I just saw, but one other thing, it seems like it's always these I don't want to say unfit, but out of shape Urugus who find lots of pleasure in sexualizing and raping black males and confusing them and and then blasting them and gaslighting them and calling them horrible names, and then just continuing to regurgitate and refine the image of black males being deadbeat people who don't take care of their children.
Definitely like the bottom of the barrel. White women always know that they can at least, if they're rejected by other white males, they can at least get a black male who looks significantly like better than them physically. Also, on top of that, like her diction is just so incredibly poor. Like this girl cannot come up with a coherent sentence or any words. Like I'm interested in what her education level is, because she seems very dumb, for a lack of a better term. And I also found it to be very callous the way she talked about the first male, that his murder was just a minor inconvenience for her. But she knows she can very easily wrangle up another one. So it's not very surprising. It is very interesting how easily people just will show themselves to be absolute morons and do it to get clicks and views on TikTok. Because this doesn't make her look good in any way. It just makes her look like a loser. I mean, at least to me. So I don't know what the general public thinks.
I am certain this video is on Chimp Out and the white supremacists on that side of the board are having a real blast making fun of her, because she's most certainly what they would classify as or what they used to classify as grays, the less attractive white women who do exactly what Ash brilliantly illustrated just a moment ago. So thank you for that. And also, if this is her baby daddy and he is now deceased, wouldn't that mean that her child's so-called father is dead? She didn't seem to care about that at all. It was just literally an inconvenience, because she knows in the system of white supremacy, black male fathers they don't exist in the first place. So she doesn't care about one of her former victims dying. She doesn't care. If anything, that adds to her personality, whatever she wants to call that, whatever we want to call that. So it's just really sick. She didn't mention the gravity of her child losing a father, because somewhere in her brain computer she knows that black males can't even be so-called fathers in the system of white supremacy. And thank you for using that word, callous. She was very callous throughout the video, and just her gestures and this whole like tongue sticking out. She's emulating ghetto glorification, but is she though? Because ghetto glorification, it was created by white people, so she's just being super white or just super savage. I don't know. It's just racism and Area 8 and being practiced in a really, really interesting way. This whole technology combined with white supremacy is something else. Just something else. Yeah,
she doesn't even talk about she doesn't even rank them. Like you would think you would rank your baby's dad on their parenting, but she doesn't rank them on that at all. Just if they paid her rent, if they didn't cheat on her, if they died or not.
If they had a good phallus, a good black phallus to pleasure her well, because she definitely mentioned that. She definitely mentioned that.
Doing that weird movement where nothing. I can't even explain it. She it's very interesting when white females try to dance and their hips don't move, but they think they are. I don't know. It was just really interesting.
I appreciate having a filmmaker and director like on the call, Mr. Sir, because the way you're able to decode this event, because I didn't even think of it like that. But yeah, she is collecting like black males, just like a really sequel to Get Out. She's collecting black males and creating these victims of racism who are gonna be mistreated in such a phenomenal way. Because this is this white woman is emulating I don't know what the hell she's emulating a child parent, it looks like the child parent that we read about in the ISIS papers. So her offspring, her children are just in for a world of like, just mistreatment, and they're going to be used as just accessories. She doesn't give a fuck about her offspring, just like she didn't care about the victims who helped her to procreate with them.
Yeah, because they're Black, she doesn't have to actually be a parent to them or care for them. She just, in her mind, she's just creating more gutter babies.
Yeah.
That just like for her little gutter vacation.
Yeah. So she could show off. She could post it on her little YouTube or little TikTok. She could commodify her mistreating and showing off her little Black non-white children. And White Mike, come on, like I don't know if that's a nickname he came up with himself, but I don't know if he doesn't look. I don't think he's white. First of all, but it's just the tackiness of it all. This is like, just grade up. We just grade up. The system has. I'm just creating that a new phenomenon. Grade up. It's not a new phenomenon, but that's what I'm calling it. Grade up. It's when a non-white victim is with a really, really grotesque racist. Grade up is what I'm calling it. But incorrect. And for perhaps this is a white supremacist to keep tabs on, to see what she does with those offspring in the future. She may eliminate them or something. Who knows?
I also suspect she's is performing as a child, as a like someone you said, ghetto glorification. I do believe that is a role that she is playing, and I also suspect she's been. It's very interesting. There was something I wrote for this movie that didn't make it into the script, but where I was talking about white niggers, and she definitely is a white nigger for sure, or a white nigger for sure. VGQ.
Yeah, I do see some. I'm gonna answer. The chat says VGQ. What color is Black? Is he Black? If he is that color, I suspect this person would be classified as non-white. I see some naps in his beard. I see some nappy naps over here. I may be incorrect, but he doesn't look white.
Takes care of his family.
But then again, also there's more evidence suggests that a white person most likely would not be interested in this kind of white female, which is why she's already capturing Black males. So I don't think this is a white man. I may be in error. What do y'all think? Do y'all think this is a white guy or a non-white person here? I think he would be racially classified as non-white.
Yeah, he looks like a black person.
He looks like to me, he looks like a non-white person, probably a member of the Latino community. Brown.
Alrighty. So now I think we're going into area 6 is law. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're gonna watch a bit. I don't know how much of this we're gonna watch. But we're gonna watch some.
Calm down. No, I'm calm. Get the fuck out of my property. Stay right there. Get out of my property. Ain't nobody right scared there. Of you because you got a badge on, nigga. What's up? Fuck out of here, nigga. What's going on? Ain't nothing going on. I just told you, bro. Get out of here. Back up now. I ain't got to.
You walk towards him.
House, nigga, back my up. Property. Point that camera. Thank you. This is my property. Look at you. You're on camera too. Shut the fuck up. How about that? Yeah. Get off my property. Get off of my property. Get off of my property. I'm not playing, bro. Okay. You guys are here for an unwanted thing, dog. I swear to God, bro. In the law book, I can shoot y'all. Can you? Yes, I can. Okay. If you're on my property and I told you to leave multiple times, Yes, I can. If you're here for an unwanted call, yes,
Okay.
yes, that's possible.
What's your name?
Don't worry about it. I don't got to respond
What's
to
your
nothing.
name?
Don't worry about it.
We don't got to respond to nothing.
You
You're
ain't
not
even
here-
got no
I'm
rights
not
to
being
talk to
detained.
me. My
Get out
mom
of my
ain't
house.
here. I'm a
Get out of
minor.
my property. Bye.
Okay. Well, you are being detained right now.
No, I'm not being detained.
Yeah, you are.
No,
What's
I'm
he
not.
doing wrong?
What am I doing? Yeah, exactly. Please tell me.
Okay, as soon as I
Spit
got
some
here,
laws out.
I told
What's
you
he
to get
doing
the fuck off
wrong?
my property because you're here for an unwanted call.
Okay.
Bye.
We're here to investigate a domestic violence, okay?
Ain't nobody
Domestic
here for no
dispute.
the best man.
Yeah,
What
I'm
the fuck?
telling you right now.
Get the fuck out of my property, nigga.
Hey, you better calm the fuck down, dude.
Hey, you better shut the fuck up.
What the fuck are you gonna do?
Hey, we got y'all on
Y'all
camera
act
right
like it's
now.
something just 'cause
All
you
on
got
camera,
badges.
baby.
It doesn't matter.
All on camera.
We're here.
Hey, I'm calm. Guess what?
You need to calm down.
I'm calm.
Calm down.
I'm calm.
We have every right to be here.
You ain't got no rights to be here.
Who are you here with?
Nigga, this is my house. I ain't here with nobody. Nigga, this is my house.
Okay, I'm not a nigger.
All right, you are to me.
He didn't say
Well,
nigger.
that's fine. You did say that.
He
I
said
said
nigga.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Whatever.
thank you.
Excuse me. I'm gonna go up here. Excuse me.
What is you going on my property for, though?
I'm going up here to knock on this door. You're gonna step back away from me, or we're gonna make you step back.
Shut your bitch ass up, nigga.
You understand? You're this close.
What the fuck I just said, nigga?
Really?
Yeah, really. Good, nigga.
Look at it. Fucking take you to the
Nigga, what's up, bitch? You're on camera, faggot.
Alright,
Take your fucking badge off.
Yeah, take
Really?
Y'all ain't shit.
Calm down.
Take your shit off, nigga.
Calm
That's what I
down.
thought. Nigga, this is all golden gloves, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. You think I'm playing, nigga? Go look my name up, nigga. Go look me up under Mean Mug, nigga.
What does that have
All
to
y'all
do
niggas
with
will see
anything?
What's up? I'm telling you, ain't none of y'all able to touch me, nigga. I'll dog every last one of y'all niggas up in this bitch. No, hell no, y'all wanna grab me for no fucking reason, nigga. Get the fuck out my fucking face.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna give you one warning. Stop yelling at me.
To stop
guess what?
talking?
This
It's
is
illegal
my-
to talk?
this- I got a freedom
You
of
can't
speech.
talk?
I'm allowed to raise my voice. I'm not fucking mad. Shut the fuck up talking to me.
There's other people
All right,
around
shut the
and you're
fuck.
yelling.
All right, shut up talking to me.
Okay, they came outside.
Shut up talking to me.
Who lives here?
I live here, nigga.
With who
That's
else?
what I'm saying. Get the fuck off my house, nigga.
With who else?
This is my house.
With who else?
This is my house, nigga.
Who else
Me and my
lives here?
fucking girlfriend, nigga.
Who's your girlfriend?
Right there, nigga. You
Are
see
you
her.
guys fighting or what?
No, ain't nobody fighting, nigga.
Well,
Y'all
somebody's
here for
calling.
unwanted call. That's what I'm saying.
Somebody's calling, and we gotta get to the
That's
bottom
my
of
brother.
it.
All right, bitch. Well, you fucking faggot.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep, it is. Fuck out of my house. Why did you knock on my door from out here?
I'm seeing if somebody else
Nigga,
is
that's
in
my
here.
house. Nigga, go knock upstairs or some shit. Get the fuck out of my property, nigga.
410
Fucking faggot. These niggas some bitches, bro. Fucking stop.
Did anybody identify him?
Do you guys know what happened? Do you guys live here? Hey, do you guys know
Ain't nothing happened.
Something happened. We don't get called 911 for nothing.
I guess so.
So keep recording.
I am. But no, you can beat his asses here.
All right, I'm skipping some of it because we probably don't need to watch all of it. I just need to. We're just gonna go to the end. We're gonna see how it ends because this is we may have seen enough, but let's see if there's any repercussions for this victim of racism.
Tell these niggas, but I ain't gonna get it, bro. On my life, nigga. On my life, nigga.
You count.
Golden gloves, nigga.
What, 1, 2,
Fuck
3,
12,
5
nigga.
deep.
Somebody said
Fuck
there was a
12,
guy.
bitch. Almighty around here, nigga.
5, right, nigga? Like I don't know how to count.
Mighty, nigga.
You count.
Golden gloves, nigga. I'm on my property, bitch. Shut up.
Have a nice day.
Yup. Have a fucking good one,
Man,
bitch.
I hope y'all get shot in the head.
Any of your questions. Give him your ticket. This officer is.
All right, I think this is a different video, but yeah, this was incredible. Just the exchange between the. He looks like a victim of racism. He may be classified as he may be classified as a brown racial classification, or it may be a
How
white.
brown can you be if you look just like the white cop? It's
I
like the same color.
Oh, well, I don't know. This may be a white on white. You know, we need a white person here. We need a white person here, but I don't know. This is possibly, I don't know. To me, this is like a white person. I mean, this is like a non-white person to a victim of racism, but I may be totally in error. This may be a white person here, which would make the outcome make a lot more sense, you know, honestly. But what else? What else here? Do we see a non-white person or a white person here? The shirtless male.
I think it's somebody who has ultimately niggerized or attempted to niggerize themselves. I think that's what matters. like they're willingly putting themselves in this position to be mistreated this way. So I don't know. It's up to them, honestly.
Yeah. This person, first of all, this video is absolutely phenomenal. Pure insanity. I do think this is a non-white member of the brown, Hispanic, Latino, whatever the correct term is. I am not aware. There's a lot of things to take out of this video, but the fact that he was not shot immediately or beat up or punched in the face shows you that your proximity to whiteness is protection. He said, I could shoot you right now after telling you to get off my property so many times. And to me, that sounds like a verbal threat, you know? And if it was a black male saying that or a black female saying that, I guarantee you this would have escalated drastically more violent. And the final thing I want to say is at the end, the young female says, I hope y'all get shot in the head. It's very interesting to see how much negativity they're giving these race soldiers, but I can't even say it's not deserved. We don't know why they're there, and it seems like this victim of racism white supremacy was just attempting to protect his perceived property.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think. Oh, go ahead, Ofer.
Oh yeah, but we are like there's confusion about this this person's racial classification, and another example of the racism hidden in plain sight, because well, it's hard for victims to point out what racial classification is this. Some may say the color don't matter, but in a system of white supremacy, racial classification most certainly matters. The whole system is a race-based system. So of course the racial classification has to matter. And I may be so confused that I'm confusing this person here for a non-white person, just because of how niggerized they seem to be. I may be so confused that seeing a person you say nigga makes me think, oh, that's a nigger too, just like me. I'm gonna say is I believe it's a non-white. So my comments will be
I think they have a choice, and he chose.
Yeah.
But I also think that this video is unfortunate because if a black person watches this, I really hope that they don't try this type of behavior.
Yeah,
not gonna end well, because it looks like this video has a lot of views. So that's really interesting. It was a lot of tacky and terroristic behavior in this video.
Yeah, this is an example of how not to behave when engaging with race soldiers, aka law enforcement. Go ahead.
Also, it may seem like they have won this so-called battle, but the police do know their address now. I would not be surprised if in a month or two their house just gets raided and has a warrant for no absolute reason, and something bad happens to them, because it's not unlikely that the police retaliate later on when less people are watching. Sorry, I mean law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that is a tactic. Like white law enforcement, they all often get in trouble for terrorizing so-called pedestrian. But this is not the way to behave in front of with law enforcement at all. You're not supposed to fuss, fight, or flee. And this victim or this person here was most certainly fussing and fighting with law enforcement. And if he had been a black male or a black female, as Serge said, he would have most certainly been eliminated promptly, I suspect, or handcuffed, knee on neck, knee on back, about 5 knees on his back, ASAP, Rocky. That's what would have happened if it would have been a black male pumping off like popping off out the mouth, as they say. But no, this person's skin and this proximity to whiteness, it has afforded him this much leisure, and this much leisure. And I'll just let me see if I can find that moment again. Or I just want to play it again, just a little moment between them.
Who are you here with?
Nigga, this is my house. I ain't here with nobody, nigga. This is my house.
Okay, I'm not a nigger.
All right, you are to me.
You didn't say.
All right, so clearly, this white person knows what a nigger is, I suspect, because he was I was like, this is the only officer actually that has said he's not a nigger. So this white person is most certainly not confused about the race problem. So yeah, and from this angle, I am seeing more of a, let me see. Yeah, I do see more of a non-white looking person right here, but I may be, highly confused. But yeah, this exchange is iconic. If he had been, I just don't know how he was spared. Because if this is a non-white person, then this is a miracle. Like, do not expect this. Like, this is what you should not expect. This could possibly be called a compensatory variable. Some sort of act of God that allowed this victim or person to leave this situation without being harmed, or just beat by a bunch of males in black uniforms. So yeah,
It's so interesting how he couldn't, even if he tried, he couldn't stop himself from saying the N-word. Like the way it just rolls off his tongue is just so interesting to me.
Has this person been just victimized to that degree? He just has. I saw him with the boxing gloves, so he works hard, but has a lot of just a lot of issues, with his attempt to be like a man, and that being just thwarted by racist men and racist women at every angle, possibly. Any more questions?
I'm 0526. I'm glad you brought up that the larger officer repeating, well, not repeating, but stating, "I am not a nigger." That also stood out to me because you have to realize, well, not you have to realize. I wonder if they're being offended, being called nigger by this person that they can't, immediately attack because their code is, attack black. The code that's the theme of the entire planet and in the whole universe, as far as I'm concerned, is to attack black. So I know there is no way a black male could be in the officer's face, yelling and screaming without being, brutalized. So, non-white privilege.
And I think the comment, if that person, Kevin Job, is to be seen as a white person, then we know, I think this person is non-white, because they're literally saying that person should be sterilized, which I doubt they would say about a white person.
All right, Mr. Evolutionist. I have this image up on the screen. Would you still like to discuss this or share some words about this image on the screen?
I think they all knew he was not white. I'm from a part of the so-called world where a lot of whites are that complexion, but nonetheless they function towards behavior towards black people, which is allowed by the obvious white supremacists and law enforcement. He's white. But this right here, this post right here was put up by a Black female who she's trying to conduct a business in health and fitness and trying to cater to and appeal to that somehow, see the words that are used? Trauma sensitive queer reproductive loss companion. Affirming companion to gender and sexually diverse people through their reproductive loss, both pregnancy and non-pregnancy related. What is reproductive loss without pregnancy? So I think it's just a clear example of crazy talk, stupid talk. It's supposed to teach you to be a decolonial, anti-oppressive, without affirming who is the colonist, who is the oppressor. Trauma-sensitive, queer, reproductive loss companion. That's a lot. Trauma-sensitive, exactly like I said in the other broadcast. This is the white supremacists are using Black people to repeat their definitions based on how we've allowed them to dichotomize their behavior and our reaction to them. Without saying, this is all summed up in white supremacy racism. White people dedicated to abusing and dominating people based on color or their classifications of not white. How can you heal from something that's continuous? Anti-oppressive. But that's all. Everybody should chime in with ideas of how can we reveal that this is falsehood, this is lies, this is incorrect.
My response is I'm reading this and I don't even know what any of this means. I'm very confused about what this means.
Yeah, this sounds like it came straight from the the Bay Area camp. It sounds like and the combination of words, to be blunt.
She's Canadian, or so-called. This is a Black female who claims to be from Trinidad and Canada. So she's Afro-Caribbean Canadian.
Yeah, I was a doula and did like birth work for a while, and I've been noticing the trend to take away the female from like pregnancy and birth, and it's like really just, it makes me feel uncomfortable because it's for me it's like this is a small minority of people, but generally most people who are giving birth are like, I mean, all people who are giving birth have 2 X chromosomes, therefore they're female. So it's really interesting to me that the whole trend now is to say like birthing people or pregnant people instead of pregnant women, and chest feeding instead of breastfeeding. And I think that I just think it's really interesting, especially because I feel like it's always somehow about changing things that are designated as female to things that are gender neutral. But I don't feel like it's the same way the other way around, or maybe I just have like a bias. But it's rare for me to see things that are necessarily considered male to be turned to like gender neutral. Like, I hope that makes sense, but yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, but it's really hard to make sense of something like this. So that's that. So I have a number of other clips to share. We could go to area 2, we could go back to area 8, or we could go to just old-fashioned racism. I think this clip. I'm gonna do area 8 because
You want to say it to me?
it's only 12 seconds. This clip is only 12 seconds, and you can learn a lot in 12 seconds. And it sets on white supremacy. So let's go back to area 8 really quickly. All right, matched this guy on Tinder, invited him over, got him to build my IKEA furniture, and then kicked him out.
I'd say first 3 words. What was it say first half?
Oh, as I said, this technology combined with white supremacy is something else. It's literally, yeah, she literally uses blackmail as a slave. I think that may be the title of the video. Oh, well, white girls out here using Tinder to find slaves. Correct. Correct, woke video. This is amazing. I wonder how many white females have done this. You know, most certainly wasn't a white guy doing this, because white people, by the time that they're at this age, they know if they're doing something, they're getting something for it. But if this white female is not lying, this is actually true, racism in plain sight, no different from him coming over in the boat and building this furniture for her. You know, it's just really bizarre and incorrect. Any comments? And that was just 12 seconds, and there's already so much to decipher.
This TikTok app is really exposing these white females who think that they're so cute and sweet and innocent for how really sick a lot of their behavior is. It's really interesting. Like the little cutesy dance she does at the end is just very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting and psychotic, very chilling too. You know, it's just it's just you know, in this business, one has to be in the business of kind of racism. One really has to be cool, calm, and collective, because it's really easy to develop anger, animosity towards these patterns of behavior. But we have to maintain and be cool, calm, and collective, because it ain't a pretty business. As we're learning day by day, second by second, or as we should be learning. Shout out to this woke video account. They just have a excellent compilation of white supremacy 101. It's unfortunate that they're not discussing it in that manner, but VGQ. Going to area 2. This is just 7 seconds, but let's see what we can learn from this clip. But before, any folks want to comment on the one I just played?
I'm not surprised. Tinder very makes finding people very accessible. Black males are programmed and conditioned to be attracted and drawn to white females. Not surprised at all. And what Ash said about TikTok, TikTok is I think TikTok exists for these types of behavior patterns to manifest. I called it when TikTok first came out. It's not very long until you see people TikToking like, okay, I'm about to go kill a Black person right now, and then TikToking it and then going viral for it, and then it being a new challenge. With white supremacy and racism, things like that are, you know, definitely possible and, you know, designed to happen. You know, I suspect that is the whole point. TikTok is a countdown. You know, it's more than just a social media platform. It is a global, let's dance around and make fun of Black people until we, you know, it's just time to just, you know, countdown's over, get rid of all the Blacks, you know.
couldn't have said it better. And yeah, and these TikTok challenges, who's probably which are probably coming from the white supremacists, are definitely destructive, and I wouldn't be surprised either. TikTok has already led to the death of many of children. It has been used to set up robberies and whatnot. So yeah, just as most technology created by white people, always dangerous for non-white people, especially the victims of racism, prisoners of war who are more confused. All right, so hopping into area 2.
Girl, say I date a black guy. Okay. Then I can say nigga. No. Because I got a nigga.
Tacky, trashy, terroristic. If you didn't catch it, it's just a white teacher said she can say nigga because she dates black guys. This is a so-called classroom, but the white woman rarely teaches black children. From my experience of being in classrooms with white teachers and studying them and the words that they said, I remember doing a study, and a white teacher, she seemed panicked. You know, she made it seem as if the students were terrorizing her, and she literally told me that she used those words verbatim, that the students were terrorists and that they terrorized her, and that she only has like a couple of them who try to help her. So I suspect that this white teacher here probably has a hard time controlling her students, and this is the tackiness and trashiness that it has led to. But it's really blurry, and it's not much context given, but we shouldn't expect these schools to be constructive for non-white children, because they're really not. And this is just some old-fashioned white supremacy. Let's see what we can learn from this clip. Oh, racism in plain sight from the last clip. Racism in plain sight because, I don't know, maybe teachers shouldn't be saying nigga in a classroom full of black people, you know, for any reason. But white supremacy, tacky, trashy, terroristic.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I want to talk about this Tigger flag.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay, why not?
Now, I thought the American flag was real nice.
Uh-huh.
I don't say nothing about the shrubbery being cut. I don't say nothing about the backyard. But now, I don't like that.
Oh, okay, I didn't hang that. My brother hung that.
Well, I know. I'm just telling you, I don't like it.
Okay.
And we have rules. I won't have to go find out what they are, but I don't like that.
I mean, this isn't a homeowners association, though.
No, but there's rules for the community. There is called Williamsburg something, and there's rules.
Okay.
So, I'm just saying, I don't like it.
All right.
It makes it look tacky.
Welcome.
Makes the neighborhood look tacky.
It doesn't, but that's okay.
Huh?
I said it doesn't, but it's okay. You're allowed your opinion.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna find out about it.
All right. Well, you have a good day.
Ignored.
So this was the offensive flag. Yes, it is Tigger from Winnie the Pooh.
What the hell? Pause.
Incredible. The white woman, she used appropriate term. She said it was what? She said it was tacky. Hi. And maybe I hate that.
Oh, this updated Prime.
The app auto plays
Tag me
all the time. Yeah, but she used appropriate terms. She said it was tacky, and that exchange was very tacky. Yeah, I don't know if Tigger in itself is definitely a racist caricature. But you know, that maybe that's a conversation for a different day. But this white woman, this Yurugu, again, I'm gonna describe her in the context of the Yurugu. You know, she said she didn't like it. You know, which competes into like I you know, I don't have control. I'm not able to, you know, control that this flag is here. You know, she didn't like that flag being there, being out of her control. You know, she couldn't immediately remove it because she knows she doesn't have that right to do so. And then another Yurugu moment, racism in plain sight. She refers to these rules. You know, the Yurugu has created like all these rules and laws and stipulations and policies that we're supposed to abide by. You know, because these rules and laws and regulations is the only thing that has kept these persons who classify themselves as white civil, as you know, not killing each other constantly. So it's really interesting that she refers to these rules, some sort of writing that she could like hide behind or use to wield her power, which is what white people do in a system of white supremacy. Really tacky, and this is just comedic, tragically comedic as well. This exchange, the black female handled it, you know, very well. You know, was calm, cool, and collective. You know, I think she asked questions. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this clip. Quite comedic. I have one more final clip, but before I play that one, is there any comments from Sir or Mr. Evolutionist?
Yeah, I was happy that she showed the flag because I thought it was a Black Lives Matter flag or something. I was like, what flag is she is ruining the neighborhood? And then to understand that it's Tigger, which is, you know, which is nigger, by the way, a non-white dancing cat creature. I understand why the Yurugu was upset. She didn't want a black flag hanging up, a black flag with a black person hanging up, because in her mind, she just sees a non-white entity, you know. And she made it clear that the flag, it's okay, you know, that's you hanging that flag lets me feel safe and lets me associate you with being comfortable, being you know, being my little slave over here, you know. You got yourself a nice little flag. It makes me comfortable, you know. Now I know I can come to your doorstep and tell you about these rules I'm gonna go look up so you can get rid of this N-word flag, you
know. Excellently said, sir. You're correct. One would think if they weren't paying attention that she's talking about, you know, some sort of like African flag or Black Lives Matter flag, but no, this is a racist caricature that they've created flag, you know. But it's just really interesting. And I do believe Tigger is a tiger, cat-like creature. So yeah, but this is the final clip of the broadcast. It's just racism, white supremacy, something else. This is just, you know, these are the people who run the planet. These are the people who are in charge. So I'm just gonna let it rock, and we're gonna see if we can learn anything from it.
You want to say it to my face? Yeah, I'll fucking say it to your face. You fucking ugly packy. Fuck, get out of my town.
All right, so the victim of racism, who I believe is classified as a Pakistani person, already made an error by further agitating a suspected racist. So already the racist is of course winning.
What are you? What are you? I am your wife, you motherfucker. You get the fuck out of my car. You fucking racist bitch. Yes, I am. I'm racist. Who the fuck you talking to? You fucking racist bitch. Fuck you. You fucking racist. Nothing to me. You're fucking stinky fuck. Look who's talking. Look at your feet. Look at my feet. Yeah, you know what? I'm a witch. We're supposed to be drowned, you dumb fuck. You know nothing about witches. You want to fuck with me? You'll see what happens. I hope you
like in the system of white supremacy, this may be a valid threat because the history of white people using black bodies and black body parts and black organs to practice various forms of magic or medicine or ritualistic activities is very accurate. So she may be involved in some sort of occult practices, and she is very old. She's been a white supremacist for a long time, so she may know some things. So really, really scary sight to see this creature roaming around this vehicle, terrorizing these poor victims. But I'm gonna continue. Already, I've learned so much from this.
We're waiting.
We're waiting.
Come back.
No, leave it. Don't see that.
It's
okay.
Don't answer.
No, she has some issues. She's saying it to everybody.
Don't even bother. No, just
fucking curry.
Just ignore
my
her.
park. The spices. Disgusting. In the fucking language. Disgusting. Yep, that's fucking right. I'm the Canadian here. I'll fucking speak my languages, but fuck you and yours. It's actually quite entertaining. No, not goodbye. You goodbye. And then I don't have to goodbye. This, you didn't pay for shit yet. You don't even live here. So fuck you.
You're so lucky you have my child, and you're older. Otherwise, you're
Oh yeah? You fucking, oh you scare me? You fucking scare me? You fucking scare me?
Kids all
I don't
around.
care. They don't
We're in a
understand
park.
English. You fucking scare me.
Go home.
You know what scares me?
Hey, not in front of my daughter, man. Chill out. Don't swear in front of my
I
daughter.
have my daughter in my
You know what? Don't fucking talk your language in front of me then, and I won't.
She's speaking your
I
language.
won't fucking have my language. Otherwise, fuck you. You get out of here. You can go. I don't have to.
Why are you freaking out? You're in a public place right now. You know how embarrassing you are?
Exactly.
You're embracing yourself right now.
Yeah, most of them don't know English.
This is Canada.
Look at you. What a fucking joke. Are you fucking serious? Or seriously fuck?
Go.
Look at everybody around you.
It doesn't matter what color you are, what race you are.
Do you know how many colored people are around you right now?
Just go home.
Wow.
Look all around you.
Why? What are you gonna do if I don't go home?
This is
I don't have to go home. I am home, you dumb fuck.
That's not nice.
Everybody who knows you.
Get off of me, you fucking. Get off of me.
Then go home.
Get off of me. You're not supposed to touch me.
Don't
Don't make
it red. I do too. I am
Go home, ma'am.
You are not.
Why are you causing a scene?
Example, you are.
Go home. You're a total embarrassment. You're causing a scene in front of all these young children for nothing. For nothing.
You do it to yourself. You do it to yourself.
Wow. I'm just gonna. I think she said something really interesting. She asked. I'm sure that was a victim of racism. She asked him, "Are you fucking serious or seriously fucked?" And I think that was that's kind of I don't know. I'm just a victim of racism, so I think that's an iconic phrase because in the system of white supremacy, us victims, we're definitely in some trouble. We are definitely to use her terminology, seriously fucked, and we have been since they've have dominated us for so long. So it's just she's belligerent and she's just causing all this chaos. But this is what she's supposed to do. You know, this is what she's supposed to do. You know, she's playing her card. She's playing her role. She's having fun too. Just strolling around, yelling obscenities. You know, barefoot, having a good time. You know.
She wanted to be a white sacrifice, but she's so frustrated that she cannot get attention from non-white people. Specifically, I think, obviously, Black people. These are Black fellows, so they're a little less than Black, obviously, Black people. So she's used to, I think, sexual attention at some time in her past. And now she's so disgusted and frustrated with herself for not being able to get it that she's trying to implode. And that's why the white man, the first one said to her, the white supremacist man said, "Do you realize how embarrassing you're being now? Not how incorrect you're being, not a white supremacist, but you're embarrassing that you're not able to practice the more refined level of racism that we've brought these non-white people here and got them to let down their guard so much, and now you come and ruin it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And she's making a big fuss about the language, how they're not speaking her language, and that possibly was making her feel comfortable. She kept saying, "I am home." I don't know if white people are originally from Canada. I'm pretty sure there was a group of people there before white people got there, and those group of people were I'm sure slaughtered in large numbers, and I believe they're now called the Ab Originals, but I think they should be just called the Originals people of that area of the world, but white people and their language traps and whatnot. But yes, this is profound, and there's when white women age up and they age from and they let themselves go to this degree, they offer a lot of them will find themselves in this similar type of vehicle, zooming around, terrorizing people still in various forms. And this is just who'd have thought that this would be the evolution of white supremacy, this sort of behavior. But tacky, trashy, terroristic, all three categories most of the time in the system of white supremacy. It's at all the clips. I had a clip, but I have no clue where it is, but I will just describe what the clip was. It would just showed it showed a very, very young black male from another black male walking down the street and then opening fire on a parked car. And it just was really incorrect and should not be happening, but it just reminded me of what Neely Fuller says about how a lot of black males just wake up and just what's on their mind is roaming around the streets with a 9mm to just cause some serious harm to other black people. And just the nonchalantness of how this black male did that was just really really lame. North Las Vegas man comes really lame, and just infinite reason why we should want to solve this problem, because shouldn't be happening. Would folks like to share some closing comments before we end the broadcast?
Yeah, the last video was a perfect way to end. We just see the monster's true form, helpless but still dangerous, still aggressive. Can't move on their own, so they use technology to continue their domination and oppressive and aggressive behaviors. And then you see the complacency. Everyone's just, oh, she's kind of crazy. Oh, you're embarrassing yourself. No one's tipping over the wheelchair. No one's really challenging her. She's able to freely degrade the non-white people that are about, quite freely. Yeah, but that's just I think how she looks is a really prime example of how the majority of them will look. It's just the ill, just poor genes, poor spirits, whatever that means these days. Just poor everything. I really look forward to the day where racism, white supremacy is replaced with justice. Guaranteeing that those who need help, receive help, and especially the ones that need it the most. Just would love to be awesome and have some balance in the universe for once.
Yeah, well said. Guaranteeing no one is mistreated, and those who need help receive constructive help. System of justice will be much, much better than a current insanity, incorrectness, destruction that we existed currently 2021 till infinity unless we solve the problem. Can't solve it unless we understand it thoroughly, which is why I hope this broadcast is constructive in that effort. Mr. Justice, would you like to share a closing comment?
In that whole situation, when they started filming her, if one person representing all of them would have said, "What are you going to do?" she would have broke down. What are you going to do? Not one of the whites, but one of the non-whites. What are you going to do? And she would have probably had about 30 seconds screaming, yelling, and rolled off. Because ultimately there was nothing she could really do of her own ability other than scream and yell. And if she's not getting a response, you can cuss in front of all the so-called children. That doesn't make a difference. You can call us whatever, and you can tell us you're mad that we speak in such and such language. What are you going to do? Gonna make us? And she would have left before it got that bad. Get to the doing part. As soon as name calling starts. Okay, you're talking to us? Okay, so what are you going to do? What do you think should be done about us speaking our language? What do you think should be done about us not going back to where we're from? What are you going to do? It's true. When you put it on the table, most of them individually are pure cowards. Purest cowards in the world. Can't stand alone in a strong breeze. But we have to know that for ourselves. Look them in the eye. And you'll see the little coward in there, all white supremacists.
Thank you. Very, very, very well said. And thanks everyone who have tuned in on the stream. Please like and share this content because remember, I am shadow banned, aka nigger banned. Actually, I'm not shadow. I'm not shadow banned. I'm nigger banned, which is meaning YouTube hides this content and doesn't want this sort of content to be seen by victims because it may be potentially constructive in getting people to think about replacing white supremacy with justice. So please feed the algorithm, the racist, incorrect algorithm that YouTube / Google have unleashed upon non-white people everywhere by liking and sharing this content. And when it is officially uploaded, please like and share it again. But thanks for tuning in. Rate this record, Miss Christine Williams, Mr. Joel Carter, and all the folks who participated. Thanks again. And see everyone next week. And stop.